Hey guys, today I wanted to do a quick video because I went on a little trip and I just wanted to share what I brought and some of the art that I did while I was away. I went Thursday through Monday and I was flying Spirit and I didn't want to pay for a suitcase because all of that is extra, so all I had with me was a personal item, which meant I was very limited in terms of space. So weight, I didn't really care about the weight because I wasn't going to be walking around on this vacation. The only thing I cared about was how large the items were, like the size of the items. So as you can see, even this thing, I took some stuff out that I usually would have in there just to keep it kind of as flat as possible. And then this was, this is pretty flat, so I was able to bring that. And so for watercolors, I brought this thing. Inside are Holbein paints, and there are, I believe, 18 colors. So that's just a tiny little travel palette that I had made. And I didn't use it much because I was mostly using this watercolor palette that I have. And this one's really great. It's super tiny, but it has 14 colors and it's Sennelier. And as you can see on this trip, I did hit pan on 1, 2, 3, 4 of the colors. I did get down to the bottom, but there's still, as you can tell, there's still tons of paint left in there, and it really goes a long way even though it's so tiny and doesn't weigh anything. So I mostly used this palette, a little bit of this one. I did end up using this thing a couple times. It's still a little bit, I wiped it later. Okay, so let's take a look at what I brought. So I was gonna keep doing, like I had shared this with you guys, and I chose to bring this watercolor book just because it is pretty compact. It's not lightweight, but it's compact. So I had shared these couple paintings with you guys before, I think, and I was planning on doing more of this type of thing. So all I really needed was watercolors and pens for drawing on top. So that was the plan going into it, and it was only Thursday night through Monday, so it was only like 4 days, so it's not like I was going to get bored with it and want to do something else. So I figured that should be good enough. So I bought these pens. These are this is actually 04 and this is 03. And these are Pilot Juice. These are really nice pens, by the way. Pilot Juice Up for 04 and 03. This is purple and this is navy. Here's the purple one. It's really pretty. So yeah, if you guys haven't checked these pens out before, you should give them a try. Then I brought a couple micron pens because they somehow run out pretty quick on me, and this is 05. That's just what I have, and it's very fine and kind of stops working very quickly. But yeah, so I would recommend more like a 02 size, not an 005. Then I brought this pen. Well, I don't know if it was this exact one, but it's just a Pilot pen, and I like the clear barrel. The gray clear barrel is not the same. This one is like a harder line, and the gray one is kind of softer and more messy. So if you're going to get one of these, get the clear barrel, and they're really nice and cheap. I love those pens. A pencil, this is 0.5, and then this kind of tip pen, and this is a handwrite kind of pen with this kind of tip. And I got this with my Hobonichi Techo. It was a free gift. I think it was this year. So I brought one of these. So it's like a flexible plastic nib. I don't know how else to describe it. So those are all the pens I got. And then in here I have, again, my mini glue stick, just in case there was anything I wanted to stick down. A little mister that, just because it was already in there. I love this eraser, so my Mono Zero eraser, of course. A couple of water brushes. One is kind of medium tip and one is the large tip. The large tips work the best. And I actually take the water out because they do leak a lot of water sometimes, like way too much. But if you take the water out, they work really well. You don't need much water to like get it clean. Refills for the pencil, the white gouache, which that's what I ended up using this for. I would put it here and like sometimes mix it in with the watercolors. This is a kneaded eraser. I obviously did not use it. This eraser, which ended up being happy I brought because I did use that, and a brush. And this one holds a lot of water. It's actually, you know, I got it on AliExpress. It was pretty cheap, but it's actually a really nice brush. So I got that. Okay, so that's all I had to bring. Well, I mean, it actually looks like a lot of stuff now that I look at it, but it all fit very compactly in here. And this was all my watercolors. I honestly didn't even need this. Like, this would have been plenty because most of the art was just done with that tiny little Sennelier palette. Oh, okay, let me just get this out of the way and I'll show you the art that I ended up making. So let's hold on one second. Okay, so it starts here. 1 second, let me zoom in a little bit, and then, okay, here we go. So this is actually schmincke paint, and I plopped that on there. So what I'm doing is I'm just plopping on random paint and then doing drawings over top of it. And this is schmincke, and I did that before leaving the house because I didn't bring my schmincke watercolors with me, but I did plop that down, and then I believe I used Sennelier for this side. And then I did this at the airport, and I've been really loving doing these paintings because they're so, let me zoom in a little bit more. They're so like relaxing. Like, you just kind of like, you know, putting the paint down is fun because you can just watch the colors like move around and blend because they're watercolors, and then just make pretty colors when they combine. And then, you know, when I draw over top of them, I don't really have to think either. I just kind of look at it and think of like, you know, what does it look like? What does it remind me of? What would look nice there? And then I don't even worry about making realistic flowers. Like, these are not real flowers. Like, I just think of them as kind of like alien fantasy flowers, and just kind of like they give a suggestion of flowers. So what I would do is I would like call these intuitive paintings or so intuitive flowers would be kind of my best description of it. And you know what, this is actually, I think this is schmincke also. I don't know why I put Sennelier down. And it's very relaxing. And so I was doing that one at the airport because of course our flight was delayed and it was a whole mess. There was like weather issues, you know, up north. There were weather issues down south, so everything was delayed. And so I was just kind of doing that and just sitting there and kind of zoning out. That was nice. So that's that. Then I made some more. Oh, and then, so I did this one, and then I was traveling with my daughter. It was just my daughter and I, and she came with me. And I had her put down random paint too. So I actually put the paint down here, and that was mine, and then she put the paint here. And this is, so now it's all Sennelier paint for sure, because this we already did while on our little vacation. And so she just plopped the paint down, and yeah, so this is like a little collaboration with my daughter. And actually I didn't do anything on the back because this is perforated, and I'm pretty sure she wants to keep the ones that she did, or we did. So the ones she contributed to, she wants for me to take them out and give them to her. Then where we were staying, there was a little like free library type of situation where you could go down and there was like a little library and you could take books, and they had a bunch of art books there. Just so I took them just kind of to look at them, and there was one of them was a Monet book, and this was on the cover. So I decided it would be fun to just do a little recreation and see how close, well not close, but how much I could do with just my Sennelier watercolors. So I think it came out pretty good. I mean, I think I got the colors pretty close to what I was seeing on the cover. And this is, it's coming out a little bit more kind of like dark blood red on the camera, I think. It's a lot kind of warmer and more orangey in person. Like the colors are coming out. I don't know if you guys, I don't know if I can show you, like, yeah, it's a lot warmer in person, I'll just say. Okay, so I did that one, and then I did a couple more. I tried Sennelier, just cool colors, and then I tried warm colors. So this is all cool colors, and this is warm colors, and this is lemon yellow. It's like, I mean, it literally looks like fluorescent yellow. Again, it's coming out a little bit darker on camera. It's a light kind of like lighter and brighter in person. And again, the flowers, these are not obviously real flowers. Like, these are not real flowers, and I'm not even worried about that. I'm just, you know, kind of going with what the paint is giving me. And then there's this one. With one of the other books that I got was a Chagall book, and I believe this was done in gouache by him. So I recreated it as best I could, and this is where I used a little gouache to mix in the kind of spring green and mix it with gouache so I could put it over top over here. Otherwise, obviously, it wouldn't have gone over. So I had fun with that one. I even put his little signature there. And then I did this one. I tried like a very different sort of configure, and I have some gold dots, and I made those when I got back home. Actually, those are because I had some black dots there, but I thought the gold would look nicer. So as you can see, that's with my Posca pen. So I tried like a slightly different design where I just kind of put like very minimal kind of watercolor on the page just to see what I could do with it. So, and again, this is coming out very dark, but it's a lot warmer. It's like a bright, like stoplight red, kind of in person. It's a lot warmer of a red. So I did that one. And then I tried a different sort of thing where at first I drew the girl face in pencil, right? And then I plopped watercolors around it, okay? And then I drew the girl in and drew the flowers kind of around her. So again, it's still the intuitive flowers, but I included a little girl. And I might try that again. I kind of like that. It's different than the other ones, but it was still just as fun. And then this is another painting. This is an original painting my parents have hanging in their place, and we were staying with my parents, and they've had it my whole life for my childhood, so they kind of just brought it with them every time they moved, and it's like a pretty large original painting. And so I just went ahead and, you know, kind of looked up at the wall and then looked back down and recreated it as best I could with my Sennelier watercolors again. And I think the colors came out pretty close, even though obviously I think the painting was probably, I'm pretty sure it's in oils. Okay, and these are, yep, those are the last two, and I have more already done, but they're like later on, because again, this one is a collaboration with my daughter. She put the watercolors down, just kind of plopped them down. She got a little in her head about it and started, I think, trying to like make flower looking shapes, and I told her just be random, like don't even worry about it. But so anyways, but so I went over it a little bit with white gel pen, because So for these two, we did use the Holbein watercolors, and she used very dark colors for this one, and it was a little bit hard to even see the pen on it. So when I got back home, I did silver Sharpie, or not silver Sharpie, silver Posca pen, and I used my circle template, and then I went over with white Posca pen to kind of bring out some highlights here too. And again, there's nothing on the back because she's probably going to take it out of the perforation and keep it. It's going to be hers. And then this is also with the Holbein, and I did the triangle and circle when I got back home. So I think for like 3.5-day vacation, I was able to complete a decent amount of work, and I think the reason that's the case is because these are really, like, if you're sitting there talking to someone, like, you can do this obviously while, like, let's say at the airport, or if you're like stressed out or whatever, you know, but if you're sitting there talking to someone, you can be doing it too. And sometimes I'd be like talking to, you know, family or whatever, and just sitting there and doing this while talking. And it kind of reminds me of when you're like in class. Like, I know as one of those kids, when I was in class, I would just, my, you know, the borders of all my notebooks would be filled with doodles. So it would actually help me pay attention to what the teacher was saying, as opposed to, you know, kind of like not paying attention. I was able to just doodle and, you know, really pay attention. So it was, you know, really easy to just doodle. I'm basically doodling while talking, and it's just kind of like relaxing. And these really don't take long. I can literally do one in like, you know, 15 minutes or whatever. So that's why I was able to get so many of them done, even though we were spending a lot of time like doing other things, like, you know, swimming, like all that stuff. But, you know, still, you know, it's easy to kind of like get that in there. And then I'm actually, let me see how far I've done. So I'm actually already like down here. So I think when I finish this book, I'm gonna do a flip through for you guys. It's getting there, and I'm really enjoying these. And as I promised, I will do, people did request a tutorial of how to do these kind of meditative, intuitive flowers, and I promise I'll do one. I've been trying different things with them. I tried it on in my huge like 9x12 notebook, or like 8x11, whatever that size is. I tried like a really huge flower thing, and then there are other things I want to try, and I might actually videotape me trying other things, like maybe on black paper or toned paper or whatever. And then well, anyways, but that's beside the point for this travel sort of like little video. So this is what I brought, this is what I did. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you later.